All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakha, Kodesh. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And real quick, I was watching this video, well, at least the intro of it, that the elder Manasseh Akbar had put up concerning Vocab Malone. You know, he played a little clip where you can hear Vocab, you know, basically saying that the God of the Hebrew Israelites is no God because he doesn't exist. Apparently, he's just a figment of our imagination that we just made up. Okay, and you know, we got up one day and we just felt that, you know, why not make up a God and claim that he does all these things, X, Y, and Z, and so on and so forth. You know, and then he lists examples. He says, oh, Tahar, the God that Tahar of GMS does videos about, is not real. The God that Nathaniel of the IUIC worships, yada yada, is not real, and so on and so forth. And I mean, honestly, what do you expect, right? You know, we're not bothered, and we don't expect you to believe in our God. But guess what? When the judgments start to come, you will believe. Now, is that going to give you salvation? Well, if you're not an Israelite, which I don't think you are, you then no. Okay, it doesn't matter whether you believe or know or not. Okay, as a matter of fact, it does neither good nor harm whether you believe or not. Our job is not here to make you believe in our God. But I'm going to start off with this precept here in the book of Psalms, chapter 14, verse 1. It says, "The fool hath said in his heart," meaning in his mind, "there is no God." It says, they are corrupt. They have done abominable works. There is none that doeth good. And ultimately, I believe also in Isaiah, I want to say the 25th chapter, it talks about, let favor be showed to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. So it is not in them, you know, to believe that. Now, something that's very interesting is that if our God is not real, right, we made him up and all this, so on and so forth, why are you so concerned? Why are you so hung up on trying? Do you care that much about us that you want to bring us out of the darkness of our delusions, and our strong delusions? You want to take us out of our strong delusions and bring us to the light? Is that what it is? Because you seem to be very hung up on us. If we worship a God that's not real, well, why don't you let us? What does that got to do with you? Now, with that being said, what about the Christians, the so-called Christians? Do you mean to tell me that Jesus Christ is a real God? That the God is love that they worship is the real God? If you were to take somebody objectively, a scholar, right, and you were to say, okay, if you look at the God that is described by the Hebrew Israelites versus the God that these so-called Christians describe, and you compare them in the scriptures, who fits the Hebrew God that is mentioned in the Bible more? Objectively, that would be the God that we're talking about, because we go through the scriptures, right? And everything that we say, we verify through the Bible. Prior to us coming on the scene, nobody had gone into the scriptures and utilized it like we are. So where did all that come from? And what makes it more fascinating is the fact that of all different people that this knowledge came from, it came from us, right? The least expected. And that's why people were in such shock, because they're thinking in their minds, hold on a second, you mean to tell me that, I mean, I cannot refute the knowledge that they're bringing out in the scriptures, but them of all people, right? I would have expected maybe some you know, some high up nobles and scholars and X, Y, and Z who spend their lives doing research and digging into these things, but them, how is it? And they always get shocked when they see and they're envious too, but they get shocked when they see what we look like, but then they hear what we sound like, and it doesn't correlate. They're wondering, how is it that you have all this knowledge, all this information? Yeah, because our non-existent God, our so-called non-existent God, gave it to us. The same God that's about to judge your world. Okay? And maybe you're in denial, maybe you're afraid, maybe you just, you know, you're trying to find a way to help you sleep at night, right? Because if our God doesn't exist, then the things we're saying are just made up. then it's just coincidence that the prophecies that are in the scriptures are coming to pass before your eyes. That's just a coincidence. All right, and if that's the case, then you don't got to worry about going into captivity. You don't got to worry about this place being destroyed. You don't got to worry about us coming up on top in rulership, right? You don't got to worry about any of that. But sadly for you, you're delusional, right? And as it says in Psalms 14, the fool has said in his heart, there is no God. Okay, so now what I want to do is go to the book of Daniel. All right, and here's an example. As a matter of fact, you don't want to find out the way Antiochus did. I don't have my apocrypha on me, but if I did, I believe it's in the book of Second Maccabees, the 9th chapter, with Antiochus Epiphanes. You wanna talk about that? Our God is non-existent. He's not real. Go ask Antiochus. He'll tell you. And Antiochus was a proud demon. But even somebody like him was humbled down to the point where he was begging the Lord, saying, if anything, he'll become a Jew. He'll go and profess the glory and the majesty and the words and the works of the Lord in X, Y, and Z. But wait a minute. This guy was one of the most proud Edomites that committed some of the most heinous acts against us. It says that he magnified himself. Matter of fact, let's take a look at that. This is I'm already here in Daniel the 8th chapter. It actually speaks about Antiochus, right? Let's see. This is Daniel chapter 8, verse 9. It says, and out of one of them came forth a little horn, which this little horn is talking about Antiochus Epiphanes, which I believe Epiphanes means Theos Epiphanes, which is God manifest, and that was an epithet that either he gave himself or was given to him, but I believe he gave it to himself because he was proud. It says, which waxed exceeding great toward the south and toward the east and toward the pleasant land. All right, so when he came up into power, he started to conquer these, take over these various regions, and the pleasant land being the region of Israel. Okay, as a whole, some scholars refer to it as Kol Syria. This goes back to the Hebrew Kal Syria, which means all Syria. Verse 10, it says, and it waxed great, even to the host of heaven, which the host of heaven are the Israelites. And it cast down some of the host of the stars to the ground and stamped upon them, which are the atrocities that he committed. You can read about that in First Maccabees, really in the book of Maccabees. Verse 11, yea, he magnified himself even to the prince of the host, right, through that pride. He magnified himself even to the prince of the host through that pride. And we're talking about the same man here. It says, and by him the daily sacrifice was taken away, and the place of his sanctuary was cast down. See, so he did all this without the fear of the Lord because he didn't believe in our God. Why should he? He himself thought he was a God. All right, but what happened to him? All right, what happened to his ass when he got proud? Once again, read 2 Maccabees, the 9th chapter. And when the Lord brought that plague and that judgment upon him, he became a believer real quick. Okay, see, pain is a very, very, very effective instruction mechanism. That's why when you discipline people, you discipline them with pain. Okay, they'll remember that because their body's gonna remember it. Now, let's see. There's a precept that I'm looking for. I don't think it's in Daniel 8 just yet. Let's see. Then the king commanded about Daniel. All right, there we go. This is Daniel chapter 6. No, chapter 5. All right, going into when Daniel was cast into the lion's den. Okay, so now let's read this real quick. Now, Nebuchadnezzar, we know was not an Israelite. He was a heathen. Okay, and in fact, the Lord raised him up over the Babylonian Empire and gave him, power and control and so on and so forth. And with all that, he became proud. Okay, so much so that, he set up this idol. Everybody had to worship X, Y, and Z. But the whole point is, when let's read it. Let's read it here. This is the book of Daniel. Now, actually, I believe in Daniel chapter 5 and chapter 6, we're dealing with Darius, right? Because at this point, the Babylonian Empire had fallen. It was taken down. All right. So let's keep going now. This is Darius, who basically, if you read the story of Daniel, you get the context, right, as to how they set him up so that if he prayed, he would be infraction of the law, and they would cast him into the lion's den, which they did. So now let's read this. This is Daniel chapter 6, verse 16. It says, "Then the king commanded, and they brought Daniel, and cast him into the den of lions. Now the king spake and said unto Daniel, thy God, right, whom thou servest continually, he will deliver thee. And a stone was brought and laid upon the mouth of the den, and the king sealed it with his own signet, and with the signet of his lords, that the purpose might not be changed concerning Daniel." So that he was cast into the lion's den, that was his sentence, and that was what it was going to be. "Then the king went to his palace and passed the night fasting. Neither were instruments of music brought before him, and his sleep went from him. And the king arose very early in the morning and went in haste unto the den of lions. And when he came to the den, he cried with a lamentable voice unto Daniel. And the king spake and said to Daniel, O Daniel, servant of the living God, is thy God, whom thou servest continually, able to deliver thee from the lions? Then said Daniel unto the king, O king, live forever. My God hath sent his angel, and hath shut the lions' mouths, that they have not hurt me. For as much as before him innocency was found in me, and also before thee, O king, have I done no hurt. Then was the king exceeding glad for him, and commanded that they should take Daniel up out of the den. So Daniel was taken up out of the den, and no matter of hurt was found upon him, because he believed in his God, right? His non-existent God, right? According to Vocab Malone. Because guess what? Daniel was in Hebrew. He was a Hebrew Israelite. It says here, and the king commanded. All right, I'm gonna jump down. There we go. This is verse 25. Then King Darius wrote unto all people, nations, and languages that dwell in all the earth, peace be multiplied unto you. I make a decree that in every dominion of my kingdom men tremble and fear before the God of Daniel, for he is the living God and steadfast forever, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed, and his dominion shall be even unto the end. And you know why he said that? Because it is a light thing for the Most High to make himself known. It is a very light thing. But right now, the Lord is testing the faith, okay, of not only us, but the world. So guess what? You coming up and making videos, that's a part of it. In Revelation 3:10, it talks about keeping the word of the Lord's patience. This is a part of it, enduring these things. But guess what? When all hell starts breaking loose, real quick, let's go to, let's get this real quick, right quick. Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, and Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3. It says here, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, which we know the vision is going into these prophecies. So these prophecies are set for an appointed time. Now, what about the MOTB? Hold on a second. What Vocab? What's up? What's the MOTB? What's up with that? Why don't you go into that aspect? Why don't you go into prophecy and and these things, and why is the focus always on just these one Westers and they're this and they're that and they're this and they're that? And I mean, shouldn't you be going into the prophecies, warning people, telling the world what's about to go down? And if our God ain't real, then everything we're saying is made up. So are these prophecies also a lie? So what's the MOTB? What's the mark of the beast? Are we wrong on that too? Are we wrong on the chaos that's happening in the earth right now? Are we wrong on the natural disasters and the wickedness that is taking place before the earth now? So our God ain't real, but the God of the Christians is real. When they go up in there and they worship Jesus and Allah and Buddha and all that, are they real? But that's not your priority. Your priority is us. So once again, if our God is not real, we made him up. We're a bunch of delusional people that wear garments outside and just go and preach the scriptures. Why are you so infatuated? Why so concerned? Why so bothered? you know. Anyway, this is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3, because when the time comes, everybody's going to see it. When all hell breaks loose, everybody's going to see that it's by the hand of the Lord. And as a matter of fact, let me hold this here and also get, let's go to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 33, verse 33, and we'll come back to Habakkuk. Now, this is the book of Ezekiel 33 and 33. It says, and when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come. So what's that dealing with? The prophecies, right? When these visions and these prophecies come to pass, then shall they know that a prophet hath been among them, because they're going to recognize these prophecies. They're going to recognize the power that we speak of, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, and they're going to recognize that we are the true men of the Lord. See, the only thing about it then is that it's going to be too late. Okay, it's going to be too late, and a lot of people are going to get caught up in it. So ultimately, like I said in the beginning of the video, it doesn't matter whether you believe that our God is real or not. It doesn't matter whether you do or you don't. It doesn't affect us either way, because we believe that he is real. So back in the book of Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3, it says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Meaning these prophecies are going to come to pass exactly as they've been prophesied. It's not going to deviate. It's not going to be a slight. No, it's going to come to pass exactly as it's been prophesied. It says, though it tarry, wait for it. See, and that's the thing, right? It's because these prophecies are tarrying, you know, you have people that think that, oh, you know, matter of fact, that's that same energy that was spoken of by the Apostle Peter. So let's go real quick to the book of, I believe it was 2 Peter 3. Let's see. Yep, 2 Peter chapter 3. 1 second. These are some thin pages. Yeah, there we go. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 3. And it's that same energy, right? It says, knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers, walking after their own lusts, and saying, where is the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of creation. Yeah, so basically that's the energy that, you know, your so-called God, right? That you're saying that this X, Y, and Z, he ain't do all that, because what they're doing is they're trying to provoke a reaction. They want something tangible. They want something that they can look upon it. But that, once again, going back to my point, what tangibility, if that's even a word, has the so-called Christian God shown? So is their God real? Is Jesus Christ real? Right? Cesare Borgia, Serapis Christus, is he real? Okay, is he is he an actual God? Is the God that they claim to worship actually described or written of in the Bible? Because the God that they put up doesn't even look like who's the one described in the scriptures. The attributes that they equate to him does not correlate with what's in the scriptures. But our God is not real. We made him up. We're just delusional. Anyway, back in the Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3, continuing, it says, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Okay, and when that point comes, when these prophecies start hitting and it's not tarrying, guess what? People are going to be looking for answers. You think that because you don't believe in this, you're not going to be affected by these prophecies? The famine is going to affect everybody. Okay, when all hell breaks loose, when the lights go out, when the you know, they send them troops out here, when the natural disasters start getting out of hand, when the wild animals start running loose, everybody's going to get affected. And you on the swords of America. Okay, so those plagues are going to hit this place and you're going to be affected. And at that point, you're not going to want to even open up your mouth to say anything against it, because you're going to see, as it says in 2 Ezra 16, right? Then shall they know not then shall they be known who are my chosen. So you're gonna see that those that call upon Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, there's gonna be an instant reaction. They're gonna be delivered. And at that point, it's gonna be irrefutable. But at the same time, there's gonna be no hope for you. It's really just gonna be a nice swarm of regret, because in your mind, you're gonna be thinking, oh shit, if this is the case, that's pretty much it for the lesson. All right, like I said in the beginning, we really don't care either way whether this devil believes or not. Okay, but this is just an example, okay, to show you that, you know, at the end of the day, you don't have, we're not here to, of course we're here, we're a prophet unto the nations, but we're not here to make you believe, okay? And you're really just bearing witness against yourself. But I'm sure you'll believe when them shackles are on your ass. All right? So guess what? This is going to be a witness. And when all hell breaks loose, when these prophecies come to pass, you're gonna be one of those that are written of in Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, okay? Who are gonna see it, and you're gonna be terrified, all right, in shock. But at the same time, you're gonna be a part of those who, repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit, are gonna say that, you know, exactly what it says in Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter. So anyway, with that, Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. I know it was quick, but Salakia, you know, for the phone cutting off. But anyway, in closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to our one true living power, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rakak Wadash. And until next time, Shalom.